Hey everyone, it's Miss C, fourth grade teacher at Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship Charter School. And we are going to be talking about erosion today and finishing off that little bit of our weather unit. So Fridays are going to be a little different. Fridays are going to be our Fun Experiment Fridays. And to show you how erosion works, this is an easy experiment that you could do at home. Now, I do not have these things. I don't have sand and I don't have a really big container or bucket. But if you have sand, then you could do this. You could easily use dirt too, and some rocks. But I just don't have a big enough container. So I found that somebody did this experiment at home, and it's an easy way to show you. So let's watch this video and see how it's done. So this shows the erosion's effects on different landforms. Our first experiment that they're going to show us is the effect of waves. So they made a beach shoreline with some, and they're going to add some water to it. Now they're saying that you can pause and draw a picture before, and then at the end you can pause and draw another picture to compare what happens. So they are taking 2 cups of water to act as the ocean, a pretend ocean, and then they're going to simulate the waves crashing against the ocean. Now erosion happens through the natural processes of weathering, and that means that over a really long time, different things will happen like precipitation and wind will whip against the land, will whip against rocks, and they'll break them down into smaller pieces. Now, this shows us exactly how waves affect landforms and will erode them. So if you've ever been to a really rocky beach, or if you've ever been to maybe a state park and you've seen on the edges of the lake that the shore has receded back, just like that, and that shows you exactly how erosion works. Now, this is much faster than erosion. Erosion takes a really long time, unless there's like a torrential downpour, which is a really big rain, and that starts to wipe out and wash away the dirt, then that you might see some erosion pretty fast with that. But generally, anything like the receding of a beach or the eroding of a beach or the eroding of roads or rocks takes a really long time, hundreds of years. Now they're saying that you can draw your after picture. Now, like we said before, erosion happens through weathering, which is precipitation and wind and the crashing of waves. This is going to show us what happens when we have erosion caused by wind. Now, sand dune is just a big pile of sand, usually near a beach. They're adding some big boulders. And again, you can pause and you can draw your before or your after picture just to compare. Now they're blowing wind on the sand. Maybe they're using a hair dryer. Maybe they're using a piece of paper. Maybe they're blowing it with their mouth. But this is to simulate wind and how wind can change landforms too. Oh, it looks like they're blowing through a straw. You see how the sand dune is slowly getting broken up. But the bigger pieces, are they moving very far? No. Excuse me. Almost like they blew sand right over into my room. Now they're going to show us running water, so rivers. Rivers can also recede or erode. Recede means to go back, to bring back or move back. So they can also erode the land. So here we have our path made of river. They're putting some big rocks around it. And now you see the water is running through the riverbed, but it's also making a really wide gap, making a very wide gap all right in here. And it is eroding the riverbed. So it's moving it back. And it's breaking it down into smaller pieces. And those small pieces are getting washed out here, which would probably end up being like a lake. Because most rivers, they either run and they drain into lakes or they drain into the ocean. Now they're going to create a mountain, and we get to see how erosion happens on a mountain. So you're learning about geology right now in CKLA with Miss Reed. This is a convergent boundary. This is where two collided together and rose up to make a mountain. Now you see as the water is being sprayed on it, it's falling down. It's slowly but surely breaking down. And did you notice that the bigger pieces stayed in place longer than the smaller pieces? The smaller pieces started going down. And it almost looks like it's melting. But it's slowly breaking down and the edges are smoothing out and the mountain is becoming shorter. Oh, now we're going to make a mountain with some trees. Now you get to see what happens to the trees on a mountain as the mountain erodes. Do you think they'll have an effect? Notice that the small pieces are starting to erode faster. See these small pieces and the bigger pieces are staying in place? It's starting to wash away and wash down. Now this side is being much flatter than the side with the trees. This is because the trees they're acting as a barrier. They're kind of buffering the amount of rain that is hitting the mountain, and they're slowing it down. They're slowing down the rain. And also trees have roots. So they are kind of holding that part of the land together. So they're acting as a barrier and they're acting as strength to hold the mountain up. So that is the end of our video. I hope that you liked watching it. I hope that you are able to do this at home. And like I said, from now on Fridays, we are going to do some experiments. So I will post some videos of different things that we can do at home that are easy and fun and safe, but you definitely want to do them with a parent. And I hope you all have a great weekend and stay safe. And I can't wait to see you soon.